Some of you find yourselves in the basement of Chateau Saint Cyr. From above, you can hear the sound of a large, heavy door opening with a creak. Laird winces and looks over at the party. Rain is walking along the flagstones here. He looks like he's stalking a thought that he has. The elf is currently studying a massive arcane machine that sticks out here like a nail head from a board. Rain turns and looks at the party. A rare enough curiosity to have here under the earth. I'll be right behind you, my dear companions. Help the master of the house attend his guests, will you? And Rain gestures toward Laird, who looks skeptical. Fine. Help me up the stairs. And from above, No Way, you open the door as the lord and the lady of the house with your sibling Yosan. Opening the door, you see Alcinrat of the West, who straightens his circlet with an expression of heavy regret. It's over. We come in peace. I am Alcinrat, and I represent the elves of the West. Your dwellings are burning. Let us help. And outside, behind the chateau, Kaysen, you have Erlenthana slung over your shoulder. Your legs burn with the accumulated fatigue of carrying your captive. Sweat beads on your forehead and stings your eyes as you look upward toward the manor on the hillside that looks down upon this little town. Roll initiative.
Everyone or just those at the manor?
Everyone.
It's a 6 for Noe.
A 6.
Tilda with a 20, dirty.
A 6 for Noe St. Cyr. A 20 for Tilda Lockwaren.
5 for Sporgle.
Sporgle with merely a 5. Was that a 2 on die?
That was a 1 on die.
Ooh. Rain, I suppose, will keep me waiting for the time being. Julian and Kaysen.
Julian with a 13.
Julian with a 13.
Sorry, I'm struggling to understand if I've been using my Roll20 character sheet right. So my initiative is +2. That's all I'm adding to the die, right?
That sounds correct. Yes, I believe Kaysen has
Yep.
14 decks, +2 initiative.
Okay, yep. He's got a 6.
A 6. Will you roll off Noe, please?
I rolled an 11.
Okay. And Kaysen on a straight d20.
9.
A 9. Kaysen with a 6 minus, Noe with a 6 plus. At the top of the order, Tilda Lockwaren in the basement with Laird, Sporgle, and allow me to take control of Rain here. One moment, let's get everybody on the right page. Are you here on St. Cyr Manor -1 with me here in the basement? Tilda, you're with me. Rain walks past you. Julienne is here. Sporgle is here. Laird is here. You all hear something up above you. Tilda, the action is with you.
Mr. St. Cyr, I'm here with Noe. We hid out in the caves last night. It was pretty dangerous, and we ran. What is what's that?
Noe is upstairs.
Yeah, she's upstairs, and so is Yosan.
Take me to them.
Okay. Is that some sort of magic thing? I'm gonna walk up to Laird and try and put my shoulder under his armpit.
You do so. Laird is a bit taller than you, and that is how you must support him. You wedge your shoulder underneath his armpit, and he quickly shifts his weight to you. He's heavier than you'd think. He ignores your question, but Rain, your companion, looks over at you. It's certainly an arcane something, I would say.
Oh, Mr. St. Cyr doesn't do anything without magic. He's the most powerful wizard in the land here.
I'm a sorcerer, actually.
What?
Tilda, can we please?
Oh, sure. How frail is he? You said surprisingly heavy?
Surprisingly heavy. He seems frailer than you would expect. Does that answer your question? I'm guessing not. Give me something more specific.
Tilda weighs a neat 105 and is 5'1". How much of a burden is it to carry this man?
Difficult. Laird is 5'10". He is lean and sinewy, but not small. When he rests his weight over you, Tilda, it is a bit of a battle to keep moving. You feel the joints of your knees absorbing a bit of punishment as you pull him essentially across the stone floor.
I will grunt with exertion and try and make it. I think the small talk will stop.
Your attempts at small talk seem universally rebuffed. Laird is not interested in your prying questions right now. Your inquisitive nature is lost on the vigor of the situation. Julianne, you are here as well, and you're up next in the initiative order, so I think Tilda's turn flows easily into yours. You hear a humming sound down here. The damp air reminds you of things you found in the cave. You watch your counterpart Rain inspecting this thing as Tilda brings Laird over, shuffling with each movement.
A little help?
Yes, of course. Sorry, I was a bit distracted here for a moment. Julian will.
Thank you again,
quickly
Julianne.
Hurry over to help. Of course, Laird, of course, but I think you do owe me at least an explanation of this after this is all said and done. Maybe not them, but at least you do me.
Hey!
You read my mind, Julianne. I think we have much to consider. Tilda, he seems to stop himself.
Tilda, as interesting as this is, I think it's a bit much for you right now. We need to focus on more pressing matters.
I'm carrying him.
And I am assisting. Now, Laird, shift your weight properly so we can start heading up the stairs.
Laird does so, working with you to approach the stairs, where you are all beset upon by a goblin.
Laird, do you have any potions?
I'm feeling a bit threadbare. I have little on me except my robe. Do you need something, or you're offering something?
I'm offering. I have one left. It was supposed to be sent over by your son, but...
Save it for my daughter. Or my son.
Your daughter's fine.
Seeing is believing. Please take me. He cranes his neck to look at you, Sporgle, perhaps used to you at this point, but nonetheless surprised. A goblin in a subterranean lair is nonetheless a bit of a surprise. At the top of the stairs. One second. Not at the top of the stairs, but at the top of the manor. On the ground floor of the manor. We find Noe and Yosan. And you're with me, Jewel, on this map. Yes?
Yes. Noe brings herself to her full height and looks out with equal notes of doubt and imploring to this man. She and her sibling, although still moderately healthy and standing, are very obviously soaked in their blood. And she says, I am Arsinoe Saint Cyr. I'm afraid you have us at somewhat of a disadvantage. Of course, my concern is with the townspeople first and foremost. And she looks over his shoulder at the buildings burning behind them, and she says, any help that you could offer us, of course, would be accepted.
The building that you see burning is unmistakable. Just past the copse of trees that is just below Chateau St. Cyr is the Loch Lauren home. You see heavy black smoke billowing from the northern side of the dwelling. Alcinerat follows your gaze. He can see the sweat and blood dripping from your brow, Noe. And perhaps to your surprise, he extends a hand, palm up, gently toward you and Yosan. Do you accept it?
Can she take a moment to do an insight? No, she accepts it.
You do. You accept it. You accept Alcinerat's hand. It's soft, gentle. He squeezes it perhaps in greeting, and looks up at you as he is one stair down from you here on the front door of your manor. He releases your hand and shakes Yosan's as well. I will dispatch war mages to the west. Perhaps there's something that you can help me with. And over his shoulder, you see Ed struggling against two elves in emerald armor who are holding him back. His son looks on with disapproval. When Rick sees you, Noe, he calls over to you. I really need some help handling my dad, please. Can you do something about any of this? At least 12 elven eyes are looking between them and you. Alcinerat looks calm and says something in Elven, pointing toward the west.
This is my father's man. He may be released. She says of Ed.
Your father's man. That's what we had heard. Released, I'm not sure that I can do. He killed several of my men, and someone important to me is unaccounted for, and I have a sense that in his mind he knows where this person is. My son, a captain, a griffin rider. May we come back to you, Noe Saint Cyr?
Yes, as she processes this.
Yes, you take a moment to process. Kaysen, you find yourself at the bottom of an embankment. Erlen Thana wiggles against your shoulder. You are getting tired. The air down here rushes with the current of the river. The trees sway gently in the breeze. It is your turn.
As he is squirming on my shoulder and making everything difficult, I'm going to slide him down, and if I can get him to stand against a tree, I'll do so, but if he can't stand on his own, to just slide him down it and just sort of put him up against the tree and just say, Erlen, look at me. Stop squirming, will you? I
He
am
does
not
so.
marching you. I am not marching you to your doom. Look, if I could walk next to you to Chateau St. Cyr, I would heal you right now, but that is not an option. So as soon as people with more authority and negotiating skills than me have said what they're going to say, I am healing you and handing you off to the first elf in green I see, and neither of us will be each other's problem, okay? You're just making it take longer to get back to your people, so just stop making this difficult. Worse than it needs to be.
He doesn't struggle against you, Kaysen. When you stand him up against the tree, he, still gagged, makes eye contact with you as the only method of communication that he needs. His words transfer into your mind. Kaysen, there will be a sea of green here very soon. So if that is your intention, let us waste no more time.
I have the feeling we're not walking into something fun, so yes, let's not waste any more time. I will be putting your own knife against your neck in a moment, so please don't move. And Kaysen will pick him back up and put him over his shoulder. And is looking out for any sign of anyone over here behind the house.
You are looking up. Roll perception. And as you heft Erlen over your shoulder, you can sense a bit more vigor in his muscles. He feels stronger than he did the first time you did this. You wonder if you giving him blood has allowed him to regain some of his lost tempo.
$14.
A 14 on perception. You do see something, Kaysen. You see someone walking away, someone heading south on the road. You see the top of their head just over the embankment. They are silver-haired.
I think I can move about 15 feet.
Yes, I think with Erlen over your shoulder, you're moving at best half speed up this embankment. As you recall, you had to make a strength check earlier just to navigate the ability to remain sure-footed here. And while you remain sure-footed, this is not an easy task.
Okay. I'm going to move up around the corner and just shout aloud, hey.
You call out to someone who is clearly egressing. Do you announce yourself again? No one responds. You call, hey. You hear nothing in return.
And I can't see. Are they like behind the? You said they're behind the trees. I can't see them any better now.
You saw a head for a second. You saw someone walking away from you. Someone walking south down the river.
Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna say, hey, if this is someone friendly, I could really use some help. Just 5 minutes. And if they don't respond, I will just keep walking on my next turn.
You receive no response, and we find ourselves in the basement with Sporgle. Sporgle, you are on the stairs. You are on a small platform that seems to be the first level in a wine cellar. A large keg sits behind you, and a well-stocked wine rack is to your back left. You see 3 figures approaching. Tilda, Julienne, and between them, Laird St. Cyr. He makes eye contact with you, and the action is yours.
When Sporgle sees them, he'll go, bad man coming. Door.
Goblin, what do you mean bad men?
Loud, mad.
Julian, what's he talking about?
Loud men. I presume probably the infiltrating army of some sort, I suppose. The only small contingency of Flaming Fist has been dealt with. And the only other thing I can think of is elves. Right? That's allegedly what's attacking.
Tilda, where's your brother? Do you know anything about this?
I don't know. This morning we were beset by both elves and the Flaming Fist. I haven't seen them at that house, but I would assume they're here.
What do you mean? You were beset by the flaming fist. What? Tell me clear. Go.
The elves, when we got out of the cave, the elves were there. They were on their griffins, and then the fight started out. And then the Flaming Fist came and stopped them, but then they attacked. They attacked Yosan. So we had to. We had
They
no
attacked
choice.
my son.
Yeah,
Take me
they
to
shot him with a crossbow. Yeah, we are. We are. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Laird. More talk later. Just
Something weird
understand that
happened.
just understand the Flaming Fists are not in play at the moment.
What do you mean they shot a crossbow at my son and something weird happened?
Mr. St. Cyr, I think they set off a bomb in the town.
Correct.
We should go. Now. It remains your turn, Sporkle.
Sportle's ready to head back up with these people.
For everyone there who you have 3 turns back to back, Sporgle, Tilda, Julianne, you are all heading upstairs, it sounds like.
Yep.
One moment. No way. Yosan elbows you. Do we let them in? Is it too late? There's at least a dozen of them.
Noe smiles, and I think reaches out again for Alcinerat's hand, in a comforting gesture. Does he allow her to take it?
He does. And he makes eye contact with you as if to see, are you pulling him up? Are you offering him a hand of support to ascend this last step and step over the portal to your home?
No, it is just a sign of comfort. As she says, yes, I can dearly understand the concern that you must have for your son. I myself nearly lost my sibling this morning. Of course, we may speak of these things, but right now I see the flames behind you consuming the house of somebody dear to me. I must see that put right first before any conversation can happen. If I promise you that we will speak of this, will you let this man go so that he may help me?
Roll persuasion.
Okay, I
Elsie-
get to do so with advantage.
You certainly do. Alcinerat takes a moment to consider your words.
That's a 22.
Let this man go. There is great violence that lurks within him. I will do so on a single condition, Arsinoe. It is your father that I seek. I will allow that man to go free, but he is not allowed to leave your town. I unfortunately must require that you assist me in keeping him as a captive for now. And I also require that you introduce me to your father.
Does she hear everyone coming up the steps?
You know your house like the back of your hand. You absolutely do. You know the little sounds of people on floorboards. You can hear the stairway creaking. You absolutely can sense that there is someone coming behind you.
She pats his hand and says, "Yes, I will accept these terms. In fact, I hear my father coming up now."
The three elves standing guard behind Alcinerat all straighten up a bit at the mention of that. And I think we find ourselves outside. Kaysen moving Erlin up the hill.
Once again, moving so slowly. Where on this map is the back door? Is it that thing that's kind of shaped like this up at the top, or are there any other entrances on this side?
You case the back of Chateau Saint Cyr as you come up the hill here. You can see to your left a back pathway that you assume goes back toward town. To your right, you can see two sets of stairs that lead upward to a large portal in the back of the wall. You sense that that portal in the back of the wall would be a logical place for access to the manor itself. But it's impossible to say for sure.
Oh, this is gonna take so many turns. Okay, walking slowly but surely. Okay. Just walking for now. Nothing else on Kaysen's mind at the moment. Nothing that he's saying out loud. He's sort of just entertaining himself with nonsensical thoughts at this point, probably much to the irritation of Erlin. Nope, just walking.
You feel psychic tendrils tickling synapses, little bits of your mind getting explored. Do you allow this? Or do you fight against it?
I allow, but I'm also distracting him by filling my brain with purposeful mispronunciations of elven words and using human words to describe everything. He's just saying Starwater over and over in his brain to attempt to put up some little sandbags around certain thoughts.
You deliberately frustrate Erlin with your human-centric naming scheme, and we find ourselves with Sporgle coming up the stairs with your companions.
Well, Sporgle's certainly not going first, so he's just trailing these people right now. Fighting every instinct he has to leave these dumb, clumsy bastards to their fate.
The three of you have contiguous turns, so I think you can take them together.
Sorry, real quick, how tall is the wall right there? Are they able to see down the embankment?
10 feet. So when you say they, who are you referring to?
Oh, I was just wondering if we were within view, but it sounds like there's a tall wall between.
Yes, do you mean the figures on the far? So you don't know of the figures on the far side of the manor. You would not have line of sight. But as you approach, you do, in your estimation, realize that anyone on the second floor could see you approaching, if that's what you mean. And Sporgle, Julian, and Tilda, you find yourselves in Laird's office. There's an arcane enchantment table here. There's a warm, basic smell in the air. Go ahead, Julian.
Laird, if you don't mind, can you take a seat here on your couch for a moment so I can step out the door and see what's going on? I'm not going to drag you into something without knowing.
This is the bad men that your goblin is referring to.
Yes, but I also don't speak Goblinese. I'm just making assumptions.
I would rather, if Noe and Yosan are here, no, I don't wish to tarry. Take me to them, please. What is the worst that could be here? These doors are warded against intrusion.
You just can you just not sit still for a moment?
If you were separated from the people that you care about, would you sit still, Julienne?
If it meant better odds of assisting them, yes.
Roll persuasion.
$17.
You narrow your eyes and appeal to Laird's sense of strategy. Doesn't it make more sense to do this? He reluctantly goes slightly limp against you and Tilda. Very well. If you wish to scout and come back to me with the results of your reconnaissance, I will wait here anxiously with bated breath.
If you can't hold on for a mere minute, I have so many questions about your life.
You shouldn't have those questions. You know the issues with my life. My life is this in a microcosm. It is running short. My time runs out. So no, I do not have a minute.
Yes, and you're speaking to somebody who also has short on time. I don't want to hear it.
Will you
Sit
two
down.
stop?
Let us
I'm the
figure it out.
teenager. You're the adults. Stop fighting.
You hush.
Just do
Now
what
help me.
Juliet says. She gets so controlling. It's easier if you just do what she says. I'll move you to the couch.
Laird looks resigned as the two of you do so.
Here, it'll be okay. I gotcha.
He lies limply on the green crocodile-colored cushions.
I'll produce the little cylinder that we nicked off of the Flaming Fist officer.
Where did you get that?
Off
did
the
you
Flaming
get that?
Fist. What? One at a time, okay? Aren't you supposed to be out there doing something or other important? You just gave some big speech about it, and now you're still in our hair? Okay.
Tilda, don't
The Flaming Fist
don't
officer had this.
don't show them that. Put that on my desk.
Okay.
No. Rub your fingerprints off of it and then put it on my desk. Just do what I say.
Okay. I will rub it on my cloak and kind of like side-eye him. I'll sneak it under, like, very conspicuously, sneak it under a piece of paper on his desk or something.
You do so.
She said some command word. It sounded like incinerus.
Don't. Tilda,
What?
don't do what you're about to do. Aren't you supposed to be getting my daughter and my son?
Wait. I have to sit here with you.
You have to sit here with me. No, you don't.
That's true, I don't. But Julianne is out getting everybody, so they were in the house. We just came downstairs.
And at the front of the house, we find ourselves with Noe Saint Cyr and Yosan Saint Cyr. Noe, you have successfully convinced them to relinquish Edenric, at least briefly, into your purview. Maybe not the word I'm looking for. Into your sphere of responsibility.
Yes.
And you see two of these elven soldiers picking up their pace and running westward. Rick and Ed. Ed shoves two of his guards out of the way. Elsinard has to turn around and give a calming gesture. Ed looks like he's about to blow. Rick follows his father, who does not acknowledge him whatsoever. Ed scrambles toward the front of the manor. It's your turn, Noah.
No way, I think, hearing the floorboards creaking, with Julian coming up behind her, assuming it's her father, turns to look and makes eye contact with Julian.
You see Julienne. All of your initiatives are combined. It's both of your turn. No way. You see Julienne. She's walking through your living room. There's no sign of your father. Yosan turns and looks back, trying to be subtle.
Noe does her best customer service smile towards Julian, and she says, Lord Elsinarot from the Western Elves is here, looking for his son. Have you found my father?
Perchance on what reasoning? Does your father have a visitor?
Yes or no?
Yes. Madam Saint Cyr.
Thank you. Will you please fetch him?
He has been fetched. He is sitting in his office. May I take a message, or at least announce whom the visitor is?
Yes, please go to him, announce who is here, and then see that he is brought here.
May I be introduced to the visitor very quickly, just so I understand whom I'm introducing to, Father?
I have just told you. And she's doing that smile that says, I'm a lady of this house. You need to fall in line now.
Oh, you're gonna get it.
She knows.
Very well. The name, please. Madam.
Noe. Roll perception at disadvantage.
Okay. A 13?
Noted.
She repeats Elsinarot's name.
And Elsinarot helps you. Elsinarot of the West. Here in peace. He seems to sense that someone is behind you and calls out simply, It's over. We deliver peace to you. I seek Laird Saint Cyr.
I will relay the visitor at once, madam. One moment, please.
As Julian does so, can she turn back to look at Ed and see what his damage is? Is he damaged?
He has. Roll medicine at disadvantage. We're doing this through people, sort of over some people. Yes, let's roll medicine at disadvantage, and we will come back to this momentarily.
Okay.
Kaysen.
Oh, once again, walking so slow. Okay.
One imagines you can do a few turns worth of walking here. I think you've been trudging along for quite some time. Erlen Thana's brain wraps around yours. It gnaws at anything, at any morsels left unguarded. If there is a mind morsel, you can sense his brain chewing on it.
He's just continuing to think his absurd little thoughts in an attempt to distract Erlen via bothering. He seems like he is deliberately oblivious to what he might think about anything that Kaysen is thinking. He's just sort of walking along, going, I should give you some kind of nickname. Something fitting. Like Bleach, Vampire Bat, no, River Otter, something bitey. None of those roll off the tongue. Something annoying, weird, less
Kaysen,
dangerous than expected.
you sense Erlen's voice booms in your head as you do your best to taunt him. Kaysen, he would be so disappointed if he saw what you have reduced yourself to in an effort to distract me.
I'm gonna call you Stinkbug.
You can sense his disapproval.
Yep, Stinkbug. That's what we're gonna call you. And he's still just looking around to see if he can see anything, but that's turn for me. I'm just looking forward to getting inside.
Back here on the inside, Laird is growing uncomfortable, Tilda. His left arm twitches behind his back. What's taking so long? What are we doing?
Waiting, I guess.
You said my daughter's here. Where is she?
Mr. St. Cyr, I understand you're upset, but I don't know what you want from me right now. I can't, like, conjure her. I haven't studied divination yet. Just wait, I don't know, another 20 seconds? What's the big deal?
I have studied divination. Would that assist you in this? Here. He pauses for a moment. 1 second. He whispers something under his breath. Divinus Atanus, you are affected by the improved invisibility spell. Sporgle, you watch as Tilda suddenly disappears directly in front of you. There is no Tilda Lochlauren in this room suddenly. Laird seems to be able to sense exactly where you are, Tilda, and he turns and says, "Go find my daughter. I can't believe I'm trusting you. I've seen... I know you're very young, but this is something that you'll have to help me with, I suppose."
How does it feel to have improved invisibility cast upon me by this venerable sorcerer?
It feels chilly. It feels like receiving a... You imagine that this is what a hug from Kareen feels like. It's cold.
Sporgle is like poking where Tilda is. He goes, "Nozzles."
Sporgle, you poke Tilda's right thigh.
I'll smack your hand away, and I'll say, "You know, Mr. St. Cyr, at some point you're going to have to take me seriously." And I will storm out of the room.
You do so.
I imagine I see Julienne.
You do. You see Julienne. Describe Julienne's composure and expressions here. Tilda, you see Julienne trying to keep it together, trying to be subtle.
Julian is very much keeping it together. She doesn't have her normal smile and more of a neutral expression, and her brow is furrowed. Like she is just frustrated with the events playing out and how she has been treated. But the moment that Tilda will walk out of the room, Julian will start walking towards Laird's office.
I will sidestep.
You do so.
And I will look through the door that Julienne was, and my turn.
You see Tilda. From your point of view, you see... One moment. You see Yosan and Noe standing on the inside of the door, and most importantly, you see something that perhaps both of them have missed. One of Alcinerat's retainers has placed her plate mail boot inside the door frame. And you end your turn. Hey, Noe. The results of that medicine roll
Was a 5.
was a 5. You
On
see.
disadvantage.
Go ahead, please.
Just on disadvantage, it was a 5.
What you see is that Ed's leather vest and beige linen shirt are soaked in blood, but it's unclear whether it's his or someone else's. He shoves one of Alcinerat's retainers out of the way. Rick, his son, comes barreling over and tries to create a physical as well as emotional cage for his father. Alcinerat looks at you, Noe. This one is difficult to contain, we have found. Better, I suppose, that you are the ones attempting to contain nature rather than us.
I think she finds that statement very strange, actually, from elves.
It is, yes. Roll history at advantage.
Nearly a nat 20, a 21.
A 21. Let's think about this. You consider that Alcinerat just said that he prefers that you would be the ones attempting to contain nature rather than him. As an optional reaction,
Yes.
would you like to, what do you think this connects to? If there is someone in your party, someone amongst your companions, has shared with you a vision that they had, you may attempt to connect these two thoughts, and I invite you to take a moment and think about it. Someone has told you something that you feel like probably connects here. Do you think you could put the pieces together?
I just want to say, if it was me, I think, didn't he only tell Rain?
It was not you.
Okay, just me.
You may speculate. Should you speculate and get it right? Maybe you'll get some additional insight. If you speculate and get it wrong, I fear you may find yourself following a lead that goes nowhere.
Okay.
You may also let the moment slide.
No, I'll make an attempt.
Okay.
It's a shame that Falmari isn't here, I think, to correct me. Because the only thing Lainey has said that I remember is standing out is a lot of psionic activity, but Rain is asking about fertilizer all of a sudden recently.
You sense that there is something exactly there. That Rain's visions of something blossoming over the continent. This reminds you of something. This sounds like what Alcinerat is talking about. Nature unchained. Something that is not trying to be controlled.
But it is also odd for elves to desire nature to be controlled to begin with.
It is. And you, in your mind's eye, you can imagine how Alcinerat and the Elves of the West got here.
Okay,
They
as
were-
part of this reaction, can
Mhm.
she open her divine sense?
I think so. Yes, divine center.
Yeah.
Yes, you open your divine. Yes, exactly. It opens like a book. You in the libraries of your mind, Arsinoe, you find the right text and you open it up and you judge everyone around you to see, have you been touched by something otherworldly and evil? There are a number of figures around you, and one by one you inventory them. In this brief moment, you see relative purity around you, except with one exception. Right on the edge of what you can sense, behind your house, something approaches, evil and ancient. Something just outside your back door. Something dripping with blackness and evil. Your divine sense detects one thing. It is behind you, outside your house.
Yes. I think she has already had a lot of action. Can she act on this, or should we cut?
I think we can cut. I would agree with you.
Okay.
Sporgle. The last you saw, Tilda disappeared from thin air. You watched her go into the other room, and now Julienne is returning, and the two of you see an impatient-looking Laird on the sofa. He looks between the both of you. Go ahead.
So Sporgle has already like waltzed up to this armchair, which the sofa or whatever. And I imagine like his nose just like barely fits over the side of it, right? And he's looking up at Laird like he is the greatest thing ever. And he's just looking up and he's like, "This is Sporgle Magus."
Laird's eyes are the color of the sky here on this plane, Sporgle. He looks at you with a coldness that you have not forgotten from Steel Toe telling you to please be Mining Chain for a moment. He narrows his vision and says, "What I have can't be taught to you, little creature. It comes from within me. If it came from within you, you would already know this."
Oh.
Julienne, you walk into the room as Sporgle is asking Laird to teach him magic.
Okay. Lord Saint Cyr, or Cinnaroth of the West, has bequeathed to meet with you. He states that he brings peace. Your daughter, Lady Saint Cyr, is at the door, currently engaged in conversation with the gentleman. Would you like to meet with him?
Olcinerat?
That is what I said, yes.
And he's here?
Allegedly, yes.
Is it too late for us to leave? Is my daughter with them?
She's at the front door, so yes.
He looks back toward the stairs that brought you up here. Go get her.
They have...
Go get her. Don't tell me who's bequeathing what. Go get her.
With all due respect, she's already told them that you're here.
Just don't open the door for them. We have to go right now, if he's here, he's certainly going to kill Ed.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Ed killed 5 soldiers. What do you think they're going to do to him? Why are we still here? Get Noe and let's leave.
The door is already open. I could see the light coming in through as I was in the living room. I could feel the breeze. I could hear their voices directly. She has opened the door and they were speaking to them.
One moment, rolling something. Laird takes a deep breath and calls out with a booming voice as loud as he can over your shoulder, Julianne, and yells, "No way! Yo, son!" At the front of the door, all Cinerat's retainers put their hands on their swords. Cinerat pauses for a moment. He looks at you, Noe. Both eyebrows raise. I would like to speak with him. I assure you we mean you no harm. Take this one with us. He's pointing toward where he thinks Ed is, but he mistakenly points at Rick.
That is certainly one way to summon them. Okay, now they definitely know you're here.
It's too late for us to get away, so we may as well face it head on.
We can just leave through the back door.
Goblin, can you pick a lock? I need you to jam that lock. See the door right there? The one that we just came up with? The one that we just came up? Jam that lock. Close that door, jam the lock.
Does Sporgle see something on the desk that would accomplish this?
You see a long cylinder of iron. You sense that this is the basis for a wand. It's the first thing you see. Might be a little bit too wide. Do you want to keep looking or run with that?
Sporgle will take one of those machined bolts that he got for the crossbow and try that.
Make a... Actually, you tell me. Dexterity or intelligence? Intelligence. Do you try to cleverly find a way to break off a bit in here? Do you...
Seems more like a brute force task, so I'm going to go with dexterity. Just jam it in and snap it.
Jam it in and snap it. Got it. Dexterity.
$21.
You break off a piece of iron and jam the lock shut. When you try to open it back up, the handle moves uselessly. The lock is useless and completely jammed. This door would take some time to break down. Laird looks at you with a sense of approval. That's very good. Now we need to keep them upstairs if they're going to come in, and it sounds like they're already in. Can you do something that no one else has been able to do, little creature? Go get my daughter and my son.
Sporgle, do. Sporgle scampers off.
How is he going to get them when you just jammed the door?
The door downstairs. The door downstairs.
We jammed the one going downstairs.
Downstairs to his laboratory. No way. You do the same thing Yosan does. You turn and look. You hear your father's voice boom through the first floor of your house. You've never heard him raise his voice like that before. Alcinrat is looking expectantly at you. Why don't
And
we?
she-
Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
I apologize.
yeah. Well, if we're about to go to break, then I think that would be a good idea.
Okay. Yes, sure. That sounds perfectly fine. Yes. Can we take a fiver? back.
Looking at bugs.
If any other bug enjoyers, wow, that is a bug.
There's so many cool ones. Okay, I feel like after that I should be able to move like a significant distance.
Yes, I think so
In
too.
a
That,
while.
that was
Yes.
sort of what I was imploring you to do last round, is feel free to take a bit more to be a bit more fluid with your use of movement. Like, feel free to use several turns worth of movement.
Could I at least get up inside that wall on the next turn, like within sight of the window?
I think so. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we will. Why don't we come back to you when we resume, and we can take it from there. There's an Erlen thought that has to be shared with you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was so much rain this session. I totally, yes, Jewel, you're so perceptive. It's so hard. It's so hard to pull one. Jewel, you're muted, by the way, but it's so hard to pull one over on you.
I am muted. You know what's more impressive? I have not been taking notes this whole time because you told us explicitly not to for this campaign, so that was all off the top of my head.
See, and that's the thing, is you don't need notes. You can keep it all in your head. You absolutely can, and I hope that there's a small enough dramatic cast to make it so that this is doable. But obviously it is, and obviously the player characters are vivid enough for this to just work. Thank you, party.
There's a little bit about, I think, the broken waystones and what's going on at Mithranor that seems relevant that I wished I did have notes about, but maybe it won't come up. Maybe I just think it'll come up and it won't, so.
Kaysen of Lathander, you hear Erlen's voice in your head. He says, "They're detecting me. They're looking for me."
And
Where are you taking me?
taking
Doesn't-
you to.
Wouldn't you want to know if people are looking for your captive?
Well, I'm bringing you to them anyway. I'm just sort of hoping I might, I don't know, encounter a single other soul I know before we get there. But such is the levels of luck in my life. Hoping I would meet up with someone by now, but I'm too slow from carrying you and all your squirming. So we'll just take everything as it comes, I guess.
I can walk Kaysen of Lathander.
Oh yeah, that would be a great competent look for me as your captor if I'm just letting you walk in next to me. As ideal as that would be, I don't think I should. I'm not that stupid, I think.
It's tough to get him up the stairs. You sweat. Your quadriceps complain.
As soon as we get around this corner, I'm going to sort of shrug him off, like still, just kind of keeping an arm on him, and I'm going to reach into my pack with the other hand and grab like the biggest feather I have and just start frantically waving it, trying to get the attention of someone in the house in the hopes that anyone in the house, at least in the back side, will hopefully be someone friendly. So I'm just frantically waving this feather in the hopes that someone can see me.
For those windows point towards several people. Julienne, can you roll perception? And Tilda and Sporgle, can you roll perception at disadvantage? You are one room away, but that door in between is open. Laird is facing away, none the wiser. Your DC is 13. Let me know if anyone meets or beats. Sporgle,
11.
no. Nope. 11, no.
No.
I
Kaysen,
have a way.
say again, Sarah.
Sorry, one moment.
Okay. Kaysen, you wiggle this feather. You take the largest feather out of your hair and you put it in front of the window to do your best to signal something, someone. You think you can see the backside of a couch and some golden hair just over the top of the couch.
We're throwing caution to the wind. I'm going to knock lightly on the window. I'm going to try to knock lightly enough that maybe someone in the room could hear, but not like a big bang or anything.
You rap gently against this single pane of glass. Laird looks up. Julianne, you hear it. Sporgle, your goblin ears sense something. There's something or someone trying to get your attention from back behind. Tilda, roll insight.
Does passive perception come into play at all?
Not in this case.
Okay.
What, do you have a bonus to passive perception?
I do. Yeah, my passive perception is 17.
This is
I for-
active perception. Go ahead.
Do we have any bonuses on? I forget what bonuses we have. We have the celebration.
You do. You have celebration, which functions, or not. You have ceremony, which
Ceremony.
functions as a bardic inspiration. Where I believe, without looking at the spell text, you get 1d4 that you can add to one roll today. It's like a little miniature bardic inspiration, I believe.
I'll pass on it then.
I figured as much. What was it?
I got a 10.
You got a 10. You see Sporgle's ears perk up. Kaysen, we find ourselves back outside with you. You rap on the window. You get no obvious response, but it's hard to tell what that response would be. Do you show yourself? Anything like that?
1 sec. One moment. We're just giving up. Just gonna move in as far as possible. About how much more movement do I have?
As much as you'd reasonably like. Tell me your intentions. Describe your intentions, and we'll see how much initiative you have left.
I'm at least gonna go up to this door, see if it's unlocked, and if I can open it and kind of peek my head in. Still carrying Erlen on my shoulder, picking him back up again.
The door is not locked. It is closed, but no one locked this door.
Okay, we're just gonna open it. Fuck it.
You open the door, it opens with a creak. Are you going inside?
Oh yeah.
Okay, one moment.
Hey, if no one's coming to help, we gotta just get this shit going. He's heavy.
You find yourself in what seems to be a back sitting room and perhaps a mud room for what is a large and well-portioned mansion. Torches provide ample illumination in here, and the house has a pleasant smell of oak and leather about it.
Is there
There's-
anything in just sort of these passing through kind of rooms and hallways? It doesn't look like it on the map, but that looks like something that you might not want to share with everyone's eyes, or are these just sort of like public kind of sitting areas?
This looks like a room that would be of use to denizens of the house, but not necessarily one that they would bring guests through. You see a line of boots by the door. You sense that this is a space for traversal, somewhere where
Okay, but
Go ahead.
there's no just like secret things laying out and about in these areas that I'm walking through. Or
You see no secrets laying out and about. Is there a secret that you'd like to pry for? Describe what is okay. Let's approach it this way, Kaysen of Lathander. What is top of mind for what type of thing would you be looking for? Something a secret entrance, a stash. A key?
Payson is not prying for anything, but he sort of has like a scrap of cloth at the ready of like, okay, if there's anything that I think that maybe this elf shouldn't see as we're passing through here, like getting ready to just sort of drape something over his eyes and kind of block off his immediate thoughts. But it looks like so far this is just, they can just sort of pass through without too much consequence.
A bound and gagged Erlen Thana is still over your shoulder. And we find ourselves here at the front of the house. Noe, I believe you were mid-action.
Yes. So she has just hanged that ancient and evil presence, moving
Yes.
closer.
Correct.
And it's in front of her. Alcinerat's like, what's the hold up? Josan, and then she heard her father yelling as well. So I think she turns to her sibling and she says, Josan, can you show them to the sitting room, please?
Yes. Lord Alcinerat, please come inside. I am Yosan St. Cyr, and this is our home. I've heard about you from our father, who seems to respect you very much. Please come inside. Yosan takes a step back. Alcinerat, with a degree of hesitation, as if he's perhaps anticipating a trap, no way, walks past you. He trips for a moment and has to steady himself.
She'll catch to steady him as well.
He seems to appreciate it. For a moment, you lock eyes.
I'm sorry, that stuff has always given me trouble as well.
Thank you, thank
please-
you.
Please make yourself at home, but do pardon me for a second. And
Ed.
she'll rush through this room, I think.
Right, and Sporgle's like waving his hands to get your attention. He goes, "Arse!" Yeah. He like grabs you by the hand and he's like trying to lead you into the room where your dad is.
Oh, where her dad is. She's trying to pull Sporgle towards the back of the house where she senses something.
Oh, okay. So wait till then they get
Do you
to
want
an
to roll
impasse.
about it?
I just imagine like Sporgle's heading towards the door, and then his feet are just off the ground. He's like, "This isn't right. This
Yeah.
isn't what I have planned at all."
You gotta
So-
grapple about it.
So he's just going, Lord.
She kneels down to eye level with Sporgle and she says, yes, I heard my father calling, but I also sensed something bad at the back of the house. Something evil.
Oh, you go. I go.
Okay, and she does a fist bump with him and then goes to see her.
Two things occur at the same time. One, Tilda Laclarin. Rick Severino walks into the room looking as casual as possible. He eyes you up and gives you eyebrows.
I'm not invisible.
You are invisible. None of this happens. Occurring at the same time, Laird St. Cyr sees you, no way, and he sighs relief. You sense that if he could raise his arms towards you, he would. Julienne, you sense Laird craning his neck past you as best he can. No way.
Father, we're fine. Josan.
Where's your son? Where?
Josan's showing our guests to the sitting room.
Our guests. Okay.
Well, I pared them down from 12 to 3, so please forgive me. Are you alright? What's going on, Father?
You see him looking past you. Tilda, you see Ed barreling past all of this. He opens the door. It was already half open, I believe. He pushes the remaining door open with a creak. Ed? Laird. The two of them make eye contact with one another. Julienne, you feel Ed pushing past you.
Excuse me?
Roll intimidation.
3.
You say, excuse me, as Ed lowers his shoulder and shoves you up against Laird's desk in order to push by. He squishes you against the desk as he moves past you through the narrow space and moves down toward Laird. He leans down to Laird and whispers something into his ear. Well, at least our sons are safe. Ironically, Alcinrat's looking for his kid too, Laird. At the front of the house, you hear footsteps upon footsteps. Tilda, you see a green-haired elf stick his head in, size you up, and go back into the sitting room at the front.
Do I think he saw me?
You do,
Even though I'm not visible?
even though you're not visible.
Rats.
Are any of these 3 doors open, or are they closed or closed and open?
The door in front of you is closed. Feel free to take movements as you see fit, Ariadne. We're all sort of on one initiative right now.
Okay. Gonna move forward and open this one and just sort of peek through and see if this next one is open or closed.
It's closed. You arrive in a small library. Tomes upon tomes that remind you of something familiar are sitting here on the shelves. A candle is on the table, unlit. Natural light floods in from the east-facing windows.
Much as I would like to stop and check around in here. Gonna go open this one and peek through.
You do so. It's a dining room. The air pressure suggests to you that at least one open door, or at least one door in the next room must be open. Air floods in. Go ahead.
Leading sort of with my left side and looking over, like keeping view of Erlen away, like sort of keeping him in that room. I'm gonna sort of lead with my left side and look out and see if this door over here is open or closed, if I can see anything.
That
And
do-
also now looking out through these windows if I can see anything, although there's a wall, so.
You see, looking to your west, you look out the window and you see one thing very clearly: smoke rising from the horizon. The door to the the door on the southern wall is currently closed. This is a large dining room. On the north side, you see a cracked door. Tilda, you feel rather visible suddenly. You hear something to your north. People walking.
I'll look down at my hands. Can I see them?
You cannot. You seem invisible by your reckoning.
I will sidestep. Rick and Sporgle.
Rick looks at you, Sporgle. Hey. Do you smoke? Oh my god, do you have a cigarette? Oh my god, please. I have taken such weird things from weird people today. Do I want to smoke a goblin cigarette? I guess I would. I guess I do.
So would I be able to say Sporgle has one? Because smoking was a big thing in his village.
I think so.
Oh, then Sporgle definitely has something that is probably not regulation.
Describe it to me.
Oh, I mean, like, in Sporgle's village at the end of the week, they would get like this giant fucking thing, this giant pipe, and just like all sorts. You know, like what jungle juice is, right? So, like, imagine that, but with like jungle herbs. And they would just throw whatever, and then they would get fucked up, and nobody remembered anything. Okay, that's what they do. So, so I can't even begin to imagine what is in this thing that he's collected. It's probably an assortment of different herbs. Some of them maybe even poisonous to people.
You have a pipe filled with miscellaneous jungle herbs that you have brought all the way here. Perhaps it was the last one you received on your Friday payday before leaving that plane. As you are producing this for Rick, armored guards are walking into the room. Kaysen,
I'm going to tap on this door so quietly.
you feel Erlen breathe a sigh of relief into your shoulder. You tap gently on the door.
I am going to open the door.
You do so.
I'll
Kaysen,
swing it open, but sidestep it.
a door opens. A door opens with no external help that you can see. A door swings open in front of you.
I'm going to.
Sporgle is standing there. Suddenly,
As I don't know who's about to open it, I'm going to switch to like princess carrying Erlen with his knife against his neck.
you do so. You put your knife to Erlen's neck. As the door swings open, Sporgle is standing there.
When you see Sporgle, he looks like he is so happy to see you. Like he like there is such joy on his face, and he reaches up towards you and grabs Arlen's helmet again and puts it on.
No, he took all of his armor off and tossed it.
No shit, really?
It's gone.
Damn it!
It's down in
Damn
the
it.
mud. Sorry to break your
Sporgle is
goblin heart.
sadder than he's ever been.
I have no shield. I got one pauldron on. Erlen's got no armor. Kaysen's just gonna also like breathe a sigh of relief and go, "Oh, I've never been so happy to see a familiar face. Can I get like a second knife, crossbow, bow, anything trained on him right now? I have no idea what's going on, and I have walked this whole way by myself, and my arms are really freaking tired right now.
There are
What the hell is happening?"
two armed guards sizing this up. When the door opens, they look between each other and then towards you. They speak in heavily accented common. Stop what you're doing. What? Is that who I think it is?
Yes.
Archdruid!
And nothing else is going to happen to him if we can all just sit, have a chat, and for fuck's sake, have some breakfast.
I'm going to scurry out of the way.
You scurry out of the way.
Noe also scurries from the room.
As soon as Kaysen sees Alcindor, his eyes just turn into dinner plates, and he's just gonna like sort of look down at Erlen and in his mind be like, "You could have warned me."
You sense that yes, he could have warned you. Your knife is to Erlen's neck when this sequence starts. Do you move it or do you maintain knife to jugular?
I'm gonna keep it. It's not like pressing with any great pressure or anything. Like it is. This is purely for optics. Like it's like barely touching, if anything.
No way. You sense great evil slung over Kaysen's shoulder. Elsinrod enters the room and immediately sees you holding a knife to his son's neck, Kaysen. He pauses and his eyes also go wide. A sensation you feel that he senses maybe once every 1,000 years. Complete terror. A situation that is out of his hands. He pauses and both of his hands are out as if he's preparing to do something.
Hasten is gonna sort of, as he's looking around, just look down and just very quietly say, Hail, Alcinerat. I assume I have someone that you've been looking for.
Rick steps between the two of you and holds out his hands as he ducks down a little bit. Whoa, 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 wait. Elsinrat hasn't said a word. He lowers his nose and takes in a breath. He is staring at you, Kaysen.
Erlen took quite a bit of a fall, and that one was on me. And I'm aware that to say he is in rough shape would be putting it generously.
That knife down.
I will do that
Elf,
once I know.
I will rip you inside out. Put
You
my
want to
son
bet
down.
on which one of us is faster?
He said no.
Roll intimidation at disadvantage.
That is an 8.
Should be an 11.
Not sure what's going on.
8 plus 3.
Oh, yep, sorry, 11.
You hear Erlen's voice in your head. 2 words. Somehow his voice, the only emotion you can detect is a bit of smug satisfaction as he says, "Bad idea." Alcinerat hesitates for just a moment. Both of his hands are up in the air. He's looking at you, and his gaze is slowly narrowing as you implore him to consider who might be faster. He has threatened to rip you inside out. He takes in a breath.
Can I try to cast something at the same time?
Yes. What do you try to cast?
Still with the knife to Erlen's neck, and his arms around him, he's going to cast Lay on Hands on Erlen. For 5 HP is all he's got left.
Okay. One moment. Just reading spell text briefly. Okay, just making sure I can target this as I see fit. To see whose spellcast goes off first, roll a dexterity ability check. Just straight dexterity. And if
you
you
keep
if you
playing.
give me a moment, I'll tell you what your DC is going to be.
That's just D20 plus dexterity.
Plus your dex modifier. Exactly right. Your DC is 11.
Ooh, 15.
You cast Lay on Hands on Erlen, healing him for 5 hit points. Alcinerat is already casting a spell. He casts Reverse Gravity. You feel the breath leave your lungs, Kaysen, as you experience perhaps a fraction of what Erlen has today, in a bit of poetic velocity. You are suddenly weightless and thrown up into the ceiling. One moment. Take 11 bludgeoning. You slam against the ceiling as the Archdruid cancels gravity and inverts it in your close proximity.
And what happens to Erlen during this?
Erlen slips from your grasp. You have a moment to hold on to him should you see fit. Your Lay on Hands arrives just as you are thrown up into the air. Do you try to hold on to him with your outstretched hand, or do you let him go?
I'm pretty sure if he hits the ceiling, that's going to be not only a waste of 2 of my healing spells for the day, but that would also probably bring him back down to 0 hit points again. So, as much as I wish there was a second set of hands to help before all this started, gotta waste the effort and let go of the hostage.
You heal him. Your Lay on Hands flows through him, and you let go. Erlen's body, bound and gagged, falls to the floor next to you. You slam into the ceiling and are summarily released in an unassuming lump of elf as you land on the floor. In the next room, Julienne, you hear a slamming sound. Noe, you watch as Alcinerat, the Archdruid, inverts gravity in your living room. You watch as Kaysen is thrown up against the ceiling and then smashes into the ground. Alcinerat, go ahead.
Is there any dexterity saving throw she could possibly do to try to catch Jason before he hits the ground?
You won't make it, but you can rush over.
She'll rush over.
Yes, you rush over. There is not enough time to get there, but you can still rush over. Tilda, you observe this happening. You realize that one of the elves seems to see you. The other 3, including Alcinerat, do not. The elf in the back near the fireplace is eyeing you up to see what you do as all this is occurring at the same time. Alcinerat is rushing over as well, no way, although you sense he's going for Erlen, not Kaysen.
My lord, please. She rushes over to Kaysen's side and makes sure he's conscious at the very least.
Describe Kaysen's hit point condition.
He's at 10 of 26.
Kaysen is bloodied. He has been battered by being slammed roughly against the rafters of your ceiling.
And that's in addition to the blood loss damage from earlier.
And that's in addition to the fact that some of Kaysen's blood is in Erlen's belly right now. Alcinerat and his retainers are running over toward Erlen. There's a mass of people.
She'll haul Kaysen up and I think just try to get him out of the tangle of everybody dogpiling Erlen. I think it's easy to see that Erlen's sort of lost as a hostage right now.
Elcinerat casts Druidcraft and causes the bindings around Erlen's wrists to turn to dust. He's checking his pulse. He's holding his face and looking at it. Julianne, you see Ed and Laird look between each other. The dust is settling here in the dining room.
My lord, when did you last see your son?
No way. Elcinerat is holding his son. He's touching Erlen's face. He's taking the makeshift gag out of his mouth.
Does he see the fangs?
You can't tell. He's looking at him. Do you wish to roll insight?
Yes.
He's certainly covered in blood from his mouth.
Yes, blood is running down his chin. He has been incapacitated.
That's a nat 20 on insight.
Of course he sees them. He's seen them before. This is the burden that he bears. In a moment, you ask him, no way, you oscillate so quickly here between saying, where is your son, to realizing, this is your son. Of course you know of the fangs. Of course this is something that you expected. And you sense that this is not the first time he has let his father down in this way. Erlen, as soon as his mouth is free, stretches his jaw. The two of them embrace.
Julian, about this time, will start to step out the door, and she will look around at Laird and say, "No spell casting. Ed, quit being an ass." And she will gingerly slide out the door and close it behind her, trying not to alert it while trying to figure out what is going on.
Another armored soldier walks in the room. This one's holding a longbow. An arrow is ready.
Is there a window behind me?
There is a window behind you.
Can I creak it open?
Trying to be subtle.
Trying to be subtle. There's a lot of things happening that aren't involved with me right now.
There are, yes, exactly what I'm thinking. In fact, I think that you've been holding this thought, and you would have opportunistically, during the chaos and many things going on, you would have had an opportunity to open this window and do whatever it is you're about to do, Miss Lochlauren. You press the window open. Its silence must be well maintained. Fresh air is right there. Go ahead, Tilda.
While this mystical elf has his attention diverted, I'd like to try and slip out the window.
You do so. You, in the chaos, no roll required, you slip out the front window. You find yourself in the grass outside Chateau St. Cyr in Evening Star on the prime material plane.
What's out here? What do I see?
You see, to your left, you see a guard readying his longbow, looking around like he's covering the front door. He has not detected you yet. To your front, you see a 10-foot-high garden wall. Vines grow along it. Looking down, you find that you can see right through your wrist and hand.
Is there any ground cover that I could at least partially hide behind?
No, this is well maintained.
Fucking St. Cyr's. Alright.
You know that they have landscapers.
Of course they do. 10-foot wall, you said?
That's exactly right.
Going over it.
No roll required. You scale it quickly. You see a fountain burbling. One moment. Let's put you on another map. Hold that thought, Tilda. You with me on this map, Tilda?
I'm here.
You see a fountain. You see a gravel path. You see a well. To your north,
There
you
were
see... Go.
3 elves in the courtyard, correct?
That's exactly right. They are not on this map, but they are represented.
Fine.
Yes.
I would like to get behind them.
When you say get behind them, you mean like get behind one of them individually, or get on the other side of where they are? The latter.
I would like to get around where their backs are. I'm not going to be standing right behind them, but I'd like to get in an advantageous position. I sense there's about to be a melee. And I'm looking to position myself, as I learned from my new best friend Sporgle, in a place that gives me a bit of an advantage.
You do so. You post up, waiting to see what these 3 elven soldiers do as you observe them. One...
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'll acutely listen for the sound of steel on steel
You do
on
so.
in the inside of the house, and I will wait.
You prepare. You hold your action. You observe that all 3 soldiers are wearing plate mail. The one on the door has a longbow and is looking outward, as if to see anybody approaching from the direction that they came in, which must have been the front gates. You see that the other 2 soldiers are exchanging a quiet conversation about their former captives. They are talking shop about the Severinos. You can detect occasionally common loanwords in their broken Elvish.
So I speak Elvish.
Correct.
Based on their accent, do I have a guess where they're from?
What an excellent question. These seem like hinterlanders from the west. They are not cosmopolitans from Mr. Nor. These are... They remind you of the farrier here in Evening Star. Little slow, little different. They live deep out in the wilderness and don't talk to many people.
Okay, got it.
I'm
good.
Okay, you're good. Here inside Chateau Saint Cyr, oh, actually, Tilda, you see one more thing. The 2 war mages that Alcinerat sent westward down the road, you see them doing so. They are going westward down the road, away from you, toward your house.
Toward my house.
Yes. Toward your house. Here inside the chateau, things are a bit tense. Alcinerat is holding Erlen. Erlen spits blood out of his mouth. Father. No way. You sense a great many things coming together. Kaysen, you have recently been punished by gravity, but it seems like Alcinerat has almost entirely forgotten this as he holds Erlen in his arms and inspects his various signs of injury where your bindings held his wrists. Sporgle, Rick looks disappointed as he pantomimes smoking and shrugs like you'll have to get it to him another day. Julianne, you shut the door behind you. Go. Sporgle.
I was going to say that's funny because I guarantee you Sporgle has already lit that thing and is hitting that.
Sporgle, you are smoking your jungle herbs here. The harsh smoke hits your lungs. You sense that no one's ever smoked inside here before.
Is he hotboxing the house?
Not quite like that.
Sporgle's just watching and waiting.
Her father, Noe's father, has not yet emerged.
Correct.
Is that odd?
Yes. You sense something. You know everything and everyone here so well, and something does not seem right. You feel like your father's hiding something. You just watched Julien exit his office and close the doors shut.
When Noe saw Ed approach Laird, did that approach seem angry? Did it seem like there was tension between the two?
Yes. Yes, it did. It seemed Ed was walking over with purpose. He shoved Julien out of the way and then harshly whispered something into your father's ear. A harsh, cruel whisper. Words echo through your head. They found us. He found out. Who is here? Could be any of these things. Your mind plays through all the different possible permutations of what that angry whisper could have been. That you can't quite place.
I think with all of this in her head, she turns to Kaysen and making sure that he's standing upright. You know, he can lean against her if he needs. She says, "Are you okay?"
He is like barely upright and sort of more in his head. Like it seems like everything that's happening, he's processing like 5 seconds after it happens, and his eyes are like going in all different directions. And after like a pretty big coughing fit and spitting out some blood, he just goes, "Ha! I was faster." And he'll sort of try to focus his eyes and look at Elsenarod, and not really waiting to see if Elsenarod is even paying an ounce of attention to him. He's just gonna say, "I wasn't intending to kill him. I just..."
No, it's all right. We don't need to discuss this now. Did he? And she touches his cheek, if he allows that, and sort of like angles his head a little bit. Did he flee from you?
Not in a way that would have turned me. I let him. Didn't want him to die.
Okay. Are you in danger right now? Do I need to get you out of here?
From injuries? No, I just need to lean against the wall a little bit. I don't know what the hell he's gonna do to me, but when have any of my plans ever gone right?
It's fine. You're under my protection.
Just didn't want anyone else to die. They're people or ours. And he's just gonna sort of close his eyes and lean back against the wall.
Beyond you and I, and there's something that I need to tell you, too, but later.
I think we all need to catch up later.
Elsinrod is...
These elves out of my house. Just help me get these elves out of my house.
I don't know how much help I'll be.
No way. You sense that there are more elves entering your house. At the front door, you hear more footsteps. Plate mail on wood. Elsinrod is looking down at Erlen, his son. They both look over at Kaysen, Erlen's former captor. Elsinrod says to Erlen, "What did he do to you? Was he going to kill you? Did he abuse you?" Erlen rubs his mouth in pain, still seeming to suffer the effects of being gagged for multiple hours. He looks over at you, Kaysen, and says, "No, Father. He saved my life." And I think we can cut session right there.
Yeah, I think we all need some time to process that, except for Tilda.
Can I give you a bit of direction?
Of course, yes, of course.
As soon as I see those two mages going for my home, I'm following them.
Okay. You shadow them.
Yes.
Yes, that is excellent direction. In fact,
And I intended to send a message to No Way on the way out,
Yeah, if there's content there, let's see the content.
explaining my intent. That's what I wanted to do.
if there's content there, you'd like to see the content. Fine. Okay. Hold
We don't have
that.
to do content. I didn't.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to interrupt your mic drop.
No, you're not going to interrupt my mic drop. Fine. This is like something that I'll explain after the session. Fine. Hold that thought. One moment. Once more. Okay. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Once more with feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Don't exhale. Tilda, if you exhale, I'll know. I'll be able to detect that. Tilda, Lauren, are you with me here?
I'm with you here.
You're on the road. You are following two war mages who are taking an eager trot down the road at the direction of Alcinerat, who must have told them to try to save whatever structure burns. They're moving together as quickly as they reasonably can. You see smoke rising from your home.
Fuck the cover. I'll break into a run.
You break into a run. The two elven war mages are trotting along.
I'll take the Tilda path.
You do so. You lose sight of the mages. Tilda, how do you feel about the Flaming Fist?
I feel like we didn't do enough sadistic damage to them when we had the opportunity.
You see the ruins of your childhood home blasted before you. Smoke rises from the rubble. Embers are at your feet.
I can't believe it.
From across the way, you see the elven mages casting Create Water, trying to control the flames.
Is it still on fire?
It is. Black smoke is rising.
I'll take out a piece of cloth, cover my mouth, and get on in.
You do so. Roll perception at advantage.
$17.
Figures in the smoke, Tilda, by the north gate. They look like they're fighting. They're completely enveloped within the smoke.
I'll head right for them.
You do so. One moment. Take 3 fire damage.
Yep.
You inhale black smoke. It hurts your lungs. The cloth does not do nearly enough to mitigate the heavy, oily smoke that is rising from your former home, you realize that what you're walking through must be the rubble of your bedroom.
I push on forward, whatever it is.
You push on forward. There are figures in the smoke. That must be someone, somebody. You see the mages casting. You realize who and what it is. It's Rebecca St. Cyr. Her and your mother are exchanging blows. Rebecca pushes your mom to the ground. Your mom is covered in soot. Her hair is caked to her head. She is moaning in pain and shoving. She howls at Rebecca. I told the truth about your husband and they blew up my house. Rebecca shoves your mom into the dirt and says, I'm here to help you. The two mages are casting Create Water. The smell of smoke and fire being extinguished is all around you. Your
I
mom,
would
Lainey,
rush to my mother if I can.
she takes a swing at Rebecca, clocking her in the face. You rush over. Your mom seems barely aware of your presence. She yells, Tilds!
Mom,
Rebecca, Rebecca lets go of her suddenly. Your mom,
I think I dropped the rag, tears streaming down my face, just so relieved to see her alive.
you do.
And I'll just bull rush her and hug her.
You do so. Your mom is covered in black smoke. Her hair is a mess. She is crying. She wraps her arms around you. She howls into your ear. Rebecca is watching the elven mages work as they methodically use Create Water to extinguish flames where they can. Your mom is coughing and crying into your ear. You hear her begging you, Where's Ram?
He's coming. I just saw him. He's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Come on, let's get out of here. It's just a house, Ma. Come on.
She's coughing into your shoulder. You can imagine how much her lungs must hurt.
I will try and guide her out of the front gate.
She allows you to pull her along. She's crying. Rebecca is with both of you. I didn't do anything to cause this. I came because I saw the flames.
It was the fist.
That's what I said.
I saw it.
You saw it?
I'll
Get your mother. She's rubbing her face where your mother struck her.
I will turn around, pull my attention from my mother, and look at Rebecca St. Cyr, and I'll just say, deal with it.
She holds your gaze for a long moment.
This is like, I'm not trying to roll it, but it is intimidation.
As I
Leave
figured,
us alone.
yes, you were. I debated. Yes, we are of one mind. I concur, but I think that no roll is required. You lock eyes with the Thayan. Her eyes are the color of the embers of your house. And she holds your gaze for a moment before walking with purpose down the road eastward. toward Chateau Saint Cyr. And then we can cut it there.
Out of curiosity, how many railroad ties did we each remove today?
How many railroad ties? What is this is a reference to I thought this was a reference to Phineas Gage, but it's not that. It's a reference to the plot and railroading and getting
Oh,
off
us getting off
getting
track.
off
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, how many guardrails did we take access to
You did
today?
great. No, this was well within parameters. You didn't leave the testing chamber. Did you have fun being thrown against the ceiling? Could you imagine that?
I imagined the chances of me getting to keep my little hostage were very slim, especially as I was walking in and I was looking less and less like someone was going to join me. I was like, oh, he gone. He gone. Sometimes
Also,
it's the thought that counts.
something something that I like for cutting it here is I think this is a good time for Rain to
Yes,
converge.
absolutely.
Who we locked in the basement.
Yeah.
Did
Did
you
we
like
get any EXP
for what?
for not killing people?
For not killing people? No, it's a table
Actually, for my insight, for my perceptiveness.
it's a
Because
tabletop
it's
role playing game. You don't get rewarded for being perceptive. Um, although Noe is such a good character for having these like hyper high charisma rolls and the ability to unravel things and like it's so she's so intuitively strong, you know, and very your non taking notes deductive energy has been noted.
Thank
Your
you.
your deductive abilities have been uploaded to the prime material plane. Did
No,
you
it's definitely the main character.
Oh no, don't say that.
Oh,
That's
it's
too much
true.
pressure. It's too much pressure. I was worried, but I'm glad she rolled high on charisma. Even though it's really fun, it's endearing. I'm saying this and it's something that I enjoy, but I enjoy her versus Kaysen and de-escalating versus escalating.
I love how despite everything that he managed to fuck up over like the last 5 sessions, like being an endearingly stupid blood bag has a few benefits.
Yeah, yeah. Hey.
Told me
With
his master plan and
apologies,
covered.
I must apologize personally out of character to Julianne. She deserved none of that.
A little bit.
Retaliation's coming.
Good.
Several characters are going to get a stern talking to. I'm expecting like at least 3 of them personally, and then I will be dishing out some.
You're not dishing out anything.
No, not to any of you guys. You guys are solid.
Are you prepared to do your ed retribution? You would retribute someone who
Did I say retribute? No. No.
Oh, the
I wanted-
vengeance?
But yes, I have been practicing in the car, and the cat will look at me like, who the fuck are you talking to?
I think that for me, the big win was the insight that Alcinerat knows that his son is a vampire. To me, that's thematically huge.
I was so surprised that no one else in the building was one.
We don't know that.
that's a
I
good
guess
thing.
the divine sense, but Tilda would certainly assume it.
I mean, at least on our party, 2 different people have cast it. So I feel like our party's pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an evil ancient kind of umbrella absorbs. I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
maybe his evil is just so stinky it's covering up anyone else's.
here's what I know, okay? I know that Noe casted Divine Sense and sensed something behind Chateau St. Cyr. I know that. And I'm answering these questions so that you have good canonical answers that I think are will fuel your speculations. And two is I know that in the cave, I know that Cason of Lathander, if you've met him, casted Divine Sense and sensed that there was great evil somewhere very close. And perhaps you can glue those two thoughts together. I don't know.
We're going to be gluing a lot of thoughts together. We all need to sit down. Even if all of us have to fucking hold Laird and Ed and be like, sit down, stop being so squirrely. We're all gonna sit. That's why I knocked someone out of the fucking sky, so we can sit and talk.
Oh, and Rick is my favorite. That's my other thought. Of all the NPCs, Rick is my
We
favorite.
love that.
Good.
We're very glad to see him.
He's got very, sir, this is a Wendy's energy.
It is all sort of ridiculous, right? It's nice to have a straight man in the cast or someone who certainly feels like, hey, can we please stop the drama? I'm literally just trying to do my job. I have bills to pay. I am 18 too. I am trying to live on my own. Why? What is all this?
I'm really picturing Kaysen just like half fucking conscious, like, okay, if no one's immediately going to kill me, I'm going to go raid Laird's kitchen. I'm gonna pull a Sportle. I'm gonna go raid the kitchen.
He's valid.
It's such a good thing that in 5th edition they got rid of the 3rd edition rule that when you heal the undead it hurts them. I was like half thinking that when you lay on hands
Same.
the vampire, I was like,
Right then and there.
She just goes, I'm helping, turns him to dust.
Well, all the spells say has no effect on undead, which originally, when I was in my like conspiracy theory phase several sessions ago, was like, well, it can't be Erlen because we all healed him in the tavern, and then he bit me.
I'm so glad there's no conspiracies. That's so refreshing that we're past the conspiracies page, the conspiracy stage.
Yeah, what's Rain doing in the basement by himself, locked up down there?
he's powering up the super laser down there.
Good for him.
He's working on the Doomsday machine.
I think Rain is trustworthy. It's the black obsidian eye for me. I look into that black obsidian eye and I say that's the face of someone I can trust.
Yeah.
Well, this will be good. Actually, I can't wait to share the VOD with Falmari. But yes, I'm gonna go eat food. Thank you so much for the wonderful session of D&D. We're not playing next week. Remind me. I think we're.
Are we?
I think we
Why
are.
not?
Are we playing next week? There were a couple conflicts. You're here. Okay, who else is here?
I'm here.
Everyone's here. Sarah's here. Frample's here. Okay, then I guess we're playing next week. So forgive me. I thought I had this on my short list for a conflict, but okay, we're playing 1 week from today. 1 week from today. All right, I heard you go when I suggested that we had a conflict. I heard your sharp intake of air.
I was gonna be so sad.
Okay, well we're playing next week then. Wonderful. See you next time right here.
I get to be in. I will not be right here. I will actually be in LA.
You'll be playing from a hotel room.
I will be in a Hampton, and everyone gets to hear me goobing out.
It's okay, I've had many hotel room sessions in my life.
I should like walk down to go get a coffee or something with the full get up on.
It's a hotel, they've seen worse.
Conventions. Oh,
It is right next to Knott's.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.